Well, Billy, what's going on here?
Well, we have a typical Channel Lakes boat here that's just inflicted some minor damage. And, you know, as we go around the boat, we have chunks that are missing and several scratches similar to this. And what we'll do is we'll determine if that needs to be actually sprayed with gel coat. We'll eliminate all the smaller scratches that we can. And as you can see down here, we got fill masking off and protecting all of the hardware around the damaged area so that we don't actually cause damage to those parts. And what we'll do is we'll get everything masked off, sand and buff all of these scratches down to a good luster to where we know it's going to turn out and it doesn't need any gel coat applied to it. So we'll go ahead and get the plastic on. What we do here is use plastic to protect the rest of the boat and the trailer from any wet sanding drippings that happen, because gel coat, when it is sanded, will actually stain other parts of the boat and the decals, things like that. And the first thing you'll do is determine how big of an area do you need to work on. And obviously we have a 5-foot area here that needs some attention.
So you really don't have to mask the whole boat. You're just working one area at a time.
We're working one area at a time and protecting the boat as we go. If the whole boat needs to be masked off, then we go ahead and mask all of that off.
What we're going to do here is basically sand out some light scratches on the boat. We use a wet sanding block, wet sanding paper, and you just want to wrap the paper around the block. Grab your bottle of water and start sanding those scratches out. And what you want to do is watch as you're sanding to see how it's being removed.
And that's just plain water.
Yes. Now the reason for the block is to keep your flat areas flat. I do have areas that are contoured that I'll be taking it off of there. Okay, so those scratches are going away. We'll get this one. And what I'm looking to do with this is remove the majority of the scratch, but not all of it, because I have other grits. There's only a little speck left. That will be removed with the next grit of paper, which is 600 grit. And the same process for each grit. It's important to sand out the scratches from the previous grit of sandpaper with the next one, so that when you buff it, there's no scratches.
Can you explain what these numbers mean to someone who isn't familiar with 3 and 600?
Well, 320 is a coarser grit, and they go even coarser. To get it to a buffing stage, you want to get up to a 1500 to a 2000 grit, which is very fine, and the compound that you use to buff the boat will remove those fine scratches. It will not remove the 600 grit or the 320. So it's important to sand thoroughly with each grit. Well, as you commented earlier, you could hear it scratching it, and it's getting less and less.
Yeah.
The sandpaper is really starting to glide across the area, which is another indicator that the scratches from the previous grit have been removed. So we're almost ready to buff.
Now, is this something a person could do at home?
This is something that somebody could do at home if it's a light scratch like this. And we're not talking about spraying this or filling it in with a color or anything. These are stuff that's very light cosmetic scratches that we'll sand out. And now we're ready to buff. This is a general purpose compound that will remove the scratches that were left by the 2000 grit sandpaper. And you just want to dab some on there, not too much. That'll clog the pad. Okay, it's coming out pretty good. There's little light scratches here and here. I'm going to put a little bit more compound because the compound's what's going to cut the rest of those scratches out with the pad. The buffer will always leave a little bit of residue behind. Again, you want to follow it up with a clean terry cloth diaper, some kind of a soft cloth.
So now if I wanted to do all this at home, I could save a little money and then bring my boat in pre-buffed for you to finish it up?
Yes, we could do a final detail on it with a more professional type compound that's going to remove any scratches that you may have left behind.
So this isn't done then, right?
I'm going to take it one more step.
Okay.
I'm going to be switching pads because I'm switching compounds. We don't want to have them the two mixed up. It's always a good idea to have a variable speed buffer because in some areas you'll want to slow it down. Okay. Well, this compound is a little bit creamier, a little finer, and that's gonna same process. Just put some on there. And you want to spread it around with the buffing pad. Right.
That looks as good as new.
You can see a difference there between the two compounds.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, you can do this at home and do a good job, but we use different materials to get a little bit better job.
That makes sense. Now you would do this elsewhere where you've got some minor scratches?
Yes, that process will work for all your light cosmetic scratches. Something like this that's a little bit deeper, that's going to be a spray area. So we're going to wait on that until we've eliminated all of our areas like this, so we know exactly where we're spraying and we only do it once.
So really, that's it then on this boat, just a few cosmetic repairs and it's good to go.
Just a few cosmetic chips. You know, you can always invest more time and money into your product, but to keep it up and maintain it, that's what's important. That's what keeps it new.